Welcome back everybody, my name's Nick930 and today I want to give you guys 5 helpful tips for Rainbow Six Siege. Today's video is going to focus on Castle. Castle is a medium speed defending operator that can use a special armored panel to reinforce doors and limit attacker movement. Castle can either make or break a round, so let's take a look at some helpful tips that'll help you make the most of him. Number 1. Don't lock in your teammates. Resist the urge to immediately start barricading doorways in the objective room. Castling primary doorways to the room makes it more difficult for your friendly teammates to move in and out of the room. It might actually give the enemy team an advantage. Number 2. Refun castle walls. After placing a castle wall, you can actually tear it down again and the wall will be refunded to your inventory. This mechanic also works if your teammate decides to tear down your wall. If you're playing with a castle on your team and he's placed an inconvenient wall or window, don't be afraid to tear it down. If you're playing Castle, be sure to keep an eye on your inventory count and keep track of whether or not your walls are actively in place. Number 3. Don't castle windows without mute. Castle's great for slowing attackers down and keeping them from peeking in through broken wooden boards in the windows. But this bulletproof barricade works both ways, and an attacker can take advantage of this. If you place a castle wall on a window, an enemy fuse can easily place a cluster charge on the window without the threat of being shot while deploying it. If you're playing Castle, you absolutely need to make sure that a friendly mute operator is assisting you directly, and that all important Castle windows have a mute jammer next to it. If your team doesn't have a mute, you're probably better off castling doorways because you can at least see an attacker's feet under a castled off doorway. Number 4. Force pathways. Castle can be a difficult operator to use because you need to think carefully about the path an attacker is going to use. If you castle off certain doorways in the map, you may be able to convince attackers to use a different path to approach their objective. You can take advantage of this and set up ambushes through walls along the path, or even force them to try and attack from one direction at the objective, giving your team a great advantage. Most attacking operators have some form of breaching device, so your castle walls will just slow them down slightly, which can be useful in its own right. Once you're down to your last few operators, castle walls become even more useful because it becomes less and less likely that the attackers have the ability to break through in time. Remember that attackers can melee your castle walls 12 times to destroy it completely, so if you do get into a situation where the attackers are trying desperately to break through, find a good corner and defend the doorway. You can even use impact grenades to break walls and doorways instantly to try and get the jump on them, but this is very dangerous, especially if you're the last man standing. And number 5, beware of Glaz. Nobody can shoot through Castle's barricades except for Glaz. Glaz's sniper rifle can punch straight through castle walls and create small bullet holes. Glaz's thermal scope can pick up traces of defenders through these tiny bullet holes, making it easy for him to fire body shots directly through the wall. If you suspect an enemy Glaz is active, do not stand near these castle walls. And that's it. I hope this video was helpful, and I plan on making more videos like this. Be sure to leave a comment below on what you'd like to see, and be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more Rainbow Six tips and tricks.